Protesters are calling for a repeat of Sunday's historic protests, which saw 1 million people take to the streets. The biggest demonstration, the biggest political crisis since the handover more than 2 decades ago. Protesters worrying the new law could target journalists, activists, those critical of the Chinese government. Look no further, they say, than these 2 Canadians arrested in China last year. There are another 300,000 Canadians who live in Hong Kong, and hundreds who pass through the city as tourists every single day. Well, our Sasha Petrusik is outside the Legislative Council building in Hong Kong. He joins us now. And Sasha, we mentioned the debate has been postponed. What are you seeing there right now?
Well, that news, of course, went through this crowd quite quickly. There are tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of people right around the legislature building. And around Hong Kong, the rest of the city is pretty much paralyzed. Roads have been blocked, in some cases, by bus drivers who are sympathetic to this cause and decided to park their buses across the roads to stop people. There have been subway stations which have been closed, and, of course, police in riot gear who are standing on many, many corners. So this city is very tense. It is also very blocked right now. And the news that the debate has been stopped, for now at least, had mixed reactions. Some people felt it was a bit of a victory. Others said that it was just a ruse, that people were, in fact, that the legislators were just trying to get them to all go home. So that's what's been happening. But there's no question that this is very much a city divided. Hong Kong is polarized in ways many say they've never seen before. Groups of students and activists who organized previous demonstrations are again leading the charge.
It is very important for organizers like me to remind the Hong Kong people that we have to have massive civil disobedience in order to show pressure to Beijing and also gain the international attention and support.
But resistance to the extradition law has spread through parts of society which were never as engaged. Business people are shutting down stores to join the protest.
Hong Kong on strike!
And labor leaders like Ip Kin Yuen are threatening strikes.
The Professional Teachers Union is ready to organize suspension of classes in the near future.
It's personal and emotional. Minnie Lee is starting a hunger strike.
This is the right thing to do. We love Hong Kong, and also this is about human rights.
But the Chinese-backed government of Hong Kong seems just as determined to go ahead with the law, no matter the size of the outcry.
My point of view, the sooner this is done, get it over and done with, the better.
Regina Ip is a member of the Hong Kong executive. She says some changes have been made in response to public concerns, but she says the government cannot back down because it will lose face.
If the government withdrew the bill, it would only be seen as another defeat. Those of us running for elections will be taunted on the street for backing the wrong horse.
So, Sasha, this meeting that we were expecting to have underway now, since it is already in the afternoon there in Hong Kong, it has been adjourned. What are you hearing about when it might resume?
Well, that's a very open question right now, Ian. You know, there's been no sign that the government really is intent on backing down or is trying to delay this, or as we've heard, this would be a loss of face and it would be a stunning turnaround for a government that's been so determined to go ahead with this, even in the face of more than 1 million people on the streets just a few days ago. On the other hand, the protesters are saying they are not going anywhere. Many that I've spoken to have said this is it. They're parking here and they're staying here as long as they can until this bill is defeated. So at this point, it's all still very much up in the air, but it looks like it's probably not going ahead today.
Sasha Petrusik reporting from Hong Kong, where it is, as I mentioned already, Wednesday afternoon. So opposition against this bill is widespread, from business people and lawyers to students, even religious groups. And here's why it seemed to have touched a nerve in this city of 7 million. A protest like this isn't normal in communist China, but this Chinese city is unlike any other. Residents in Hong Kong enjoy far greater freedoms than those on the mainland. Hong Kong is technically a part of China, but it's operated under what's known as one country, two systems since 1997, when the former British colony was handed back to Chinese rule. The city continues to enjoy the right to have its own social, political, and legal systems for 50 years. But China has become more overtly authoritarian since Xi Jinping became president in 2012. And since then, Beijing has made substantial efforts to integrate Hong Kong with the mainland. Many see that as Beijing encroaching on the city's autonomy. That's why opponents feel changes to the extradition law would significantly compromise Hong Kong's legal independence, long viewed as one of the crucial differences between the territory and mainland China.